everyone! In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the importance of your cookware and how it plays a huge role in your hormone health. My name is Megan Garza and I'm a holistic health coach and yoga instructor. I'm also the CEO of Megan Garza Wellness. If you're new here, welcome to my channel where I talk about all things health and wellness to help you have smooth digestion and balanced hormones so that way you can have more restful sleep and glowing skin. I'm very excited to talk about this for a very good reason. There's been a lot of awareness around what foods that we should be putting in our bodies and the importance of clean eating in terms of organic versus conventional and just picking healthier choices for our bodies so that way we can feel better. But if we are not cooking the food on proper cookware, we could actually be doing more damage to our bodies than helping it. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you have healthy cookware. And if you're getting the healthiest of foods and then you're cooking it on really toxic cookware, that really negates the purpose of buying healthy food in the first place. So your healthy home really starts with healthy cookware in terms of the kitchen. So I'm going to be doing a full kitchen tour today of everything that I use to have a healthy kitchen. First and foremost, I want to say to avoid all nonstick cookware because nonstick cookware is often made with PFAS or PFOs. So they're two really toxic chemicals known as forever chemicals that stay in your body and have been linked to a lot of harmful things like cancers and other kind of illnesses like endocrine disruption. That's why getting rid of all that toxic Teflon in your kitchen is a step in the right direction for bettering your health. And even if you aren't personally using the Teflon pans to cook your food in, say that it's a relative or someone else who lives in the house, it's still releasing toxic chemicals into the air when you breathe in. So that's why it's really important to make sure everyone gets on board if that's possible, or making sure that there's proper ventilation in the house and really being aware of the chemicals that you are putting in your home. The first one I want to start off with would be the stainless steels. Stainless steel is a really excellent non-toxic choice. I find it to be very easy to cook on, it's very easy to clean up, and there's very little learning curve in my opinion. Yes, things will stick to it a little bit more, but that's why you have to make sure that you are just watching your food and making sure that you're properly oiling the pan up, putting some kind of water in the bottom of it, and just, picking your food up in general. So this is 1810. These are relatively old pans. I picked up a lot of these at Goodwill. You want to make sure that they're not made out of like aluminum or tin because these things will also leach toxins into your food. So picking up a good 1810 stainless steel set is always a great idea because it has a really non-toxic component to it and the food cooks really wonderfully in these and you just can't go wrong with it. The next option would be something like cast iron. So cast iron is really durable. It does take a little bit more of a learning curve to figure out how to care for these pans because you do have to season them and you have to properly wash them and you can't use soap a lot of the times. I know I don't use soap. I personally use a little chainmail. This was like 15 bucks on Amazon. It was on sale and it's like steel wool in a sense of like the abrasiveness, but it is reusable. I've had this for over 2 years and it shows absolutely no signs of wear and tear or me needing to discard it. So that's why chainmail is a really great option to clean out your pans without having to buy steel wool and to keep discarding that. There are also a couple of other options that I personally do not have in my kitchen, but they are really great options, and that would be things like glass, ceramic, Le Creuset. These are all really great options for stovetop cooking, and you just can't go wrong with them because these pans made out of these materials are very durable and they do not release toxins into your food. Enamel cast iron is also another excellent option as well. That tends to be a little bit more on the pricier side, but it is absolutely worth it and you don't have to discard it over time if you take good care of it. There's also another pan called the green pan, which a lot of people swear by. I personally never bought one, but it is not made with the toxic PFAS like the other ones are. It does need to be replaced more frequently because once it starts to get scratched, it will show the aluminum underneath it, and that will start to leach into your food. So it is a little bit less of a sustainable option because you do have to keep rebuying them as the pan gets damaged. That's why these are really excellent choices. I especially love the cast iron. I try not to use it too much just because I don't want a bunch of iron in my diet from a cast iron pan. And I tend to stick more with like the stainless steel. Now onto bakeware. So for bakeware, I traditionally stick to glass. I feel it's a very easy option and there's not much to it. They're not particularly heavy in comparison to like an enameled cast iron or cast iron, or even ceramic. Ceramic tends to be a little bit heavier, so glass is a really great option. I find it's very easy to clean up. If there's anything stuck on it, all you have to do is pour some hot water in it and leave it to soak for a little while, depending on what's stuck in it, and then you can just wipe it out with your sponge and it comes clean. So these are really excellent for, I basically cook everything in here. It's super easy and there's not much to it. The limit for temperature is 400 degrees, so you do want to be mindful of that because people have reported them cracking or breaking in the oven. I've personally never experienced that, but I don't think I've ever increased the temperature beyond that by accident, maybe once or twice, but they were fine. But you want to go by the reader's manual for whatever cookware that you're using. Also, if you're putting this directly from the freezer to a hot oven, it is going to crack. So you do have to be careful of that. That's another thing to take into consideration. So when you're using these, just make sure that this pan has cooled to room temperature and that the oven is already preheated before you put them in. Here's another really excellent choice. This is ceramic. These are really easy to use. The brand is Stob, and I've had a lot of success with these. I like to make brownies in them, just a small little batch, and they're very cute. I'm not too sure about the longevity of these, but I don't see any kinds of scratches or scrapes in them, so to me, they're good. Once I start to see that, I will definitely look into finding a replacement set because that's not something that I would want to mess around with, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. But these have seemed to be a pretty darn good option in my opinion. I've had them for over a year and they are excellent. And now my favorite is the traditional Corningware. This is my absolute favorite. This one is so great because there are so many uses for it. This was actually my mother-in-law's. She's had it for over 40 years with a lot of heavy use for cooking for her family, and there is slight discoloration on the inside and that's really all there is, but there's nothing that would compromise the integrity of the Corningware. It has super cute designs on the Corningware, which I absolutely love. They're very vintage. You can find these in thrift stores. I don't know if I mentioned this, but a lot of the stuff I have found in thrift stores for very good prices. Corningware, however, does hold its value. So something like this would be around $15, and a larger one, one of the larger sizes, would be somewhere around $35 to $40. So they do cost a little bit more money, but Corningware is very durable and it's non-toxic. And the excellent thing about this is it comes with a lid. So you can just place it back in the refrigerator and you're good to go. I also have this really cute kettle that I found at the thrift store as well. This one did cost me $15, which is a really excellent price if you ask me. It has held up, it has a little lid, and I absolutely adore this piece. I did burn the inside of it by accident because I left the burner on and I thought I had more water in there, but it held up and there's been no cracks in it, nothing. So I was very shocked by that, but I was very pleased that it didn't break or cause any kind of damage to it. Next is utensils. Utensils are an important piece of kitchen functionality. So you want to make sure that you have high quality kitchen utensils to serve your food with and to cook it with. So the biggest thing that you would want to avoid would be plastic, because when you heat plastic up, it releases all kinds of endocrine disrupting chemicals like BPA and phthalates and other things that can stay in your system and cause all kinds of health problems and wreak havoc in your body. So staying with either wood or stainless steel are really excellent options. Silicone is also another really excellent option for utensils to cook with. It is heat resistant up to 500 degrees, which makes it a really great choice for serving things and for cooking with it. Especially your ladle too. This is going to go right into your soup or stew, and if this is plastic, that means you are releasing all kinds of chemicals into your food that you are then eating. So making sure that you have either silicone or stainless steel. These are just things that I've picked up over the years. All of these are brand new. I personally would never buy anything porous like wood or bamboo from a thrift store. Pasta scoopers are also something that you don't want in plastic. You want to make sure that it is healthy for your body. So stainless steel, I have stainless steel tongs, and that's pretty much my whole arsenal for utensils. Now moving on to some more miscellaneous things that I have in the kitchen but I feel are equally as important to speak on. So this is my strainer or splatter screen that I use every single morning to cook my bacon with, so that way the grease doesn't fly everywhere. It's very durable and it's made out of silicone and stainless steel. And I found this tool to be very helpful. Say that I have to drain some pasta and I don't want to pull the strainer out, I can just use this, put it on top, and boom, you're done. Here are my two options for strainers. I have a regular hard stainless steel colander and just a finer mesh one. So there's different things that you can do with these, but they're both stainless steel. This is my cute little French press that I found at the thrift store. It was only $10 and it makes 1 cup of coffee, which is perfect because I don't drink much coffee. I drink coffee maybe 3 times a month, and this is exactly what I need. It's a lot better of an option than a regular coffee pot because coffee pots, there's reservoirs in the back on most of them that can never completely drain, so that is a really big source of hidden mold contamination. And also when you're pouring when the machine is pouring the hot water through it, that is releasing all kinds of chemicals like BPA into your coffee. And not only that, but the coffee just tastes so much better in a French press. So I highly recommend to invest in a French press if you are a big coffee drinker because it makes a world of difference. I also have this cute little pitcher that I picked up at the thrift store. It was only like $4, and I will put homemade tea in here or some kind of juice blends, and I will leave this in the fridge. It's made out of glass, which is what I wanted because I try to avoid plastic as much as possible. And I'm not a perfect person because there is still plastic in my home and it's inevitable in some areas, but this is excellent because it is so easy and it's lightweight and it's not too big, it's not too small. Cutting boards are an essential part of your kitchen as well. So I have a bamboo cutting board that I hand wash. These are not recommended to go in the dishwasher because the high heat and the amount of water that gets on it in the dishwasher can cause a lot of damage to it. It can cause mold to grow on it, and hand washing is just a much better idea. These are excellent for cutting things like vegetables. I really like it, and I have been using this for several years now. Glass is also another really great option. I still have the price tag on this from Goodwill. This was $3. So this originally had rubber feet on it, which is a great idea if you're going to be using something like this because it does slide around. So making sure that you have something to stop it from skidding around. A little word of caution, this is kind of scary and it's why I don't use it too often, but when you're cutting let's say you're cutting chicken or something, it is a little bit easier for the knife to slide around and potentially injure yourself, so that is something that you want to be cautious about. But whenever I'm dealing with raw meats, I will use the glass board because it is non-porous. This is a stainless steel cheese grater. These are super inexpensive and you can't go wrong with them. It has 4 different sides, so go ahead and grind your cheese away. I love cheese. Measuring cups. This is a wet measuring cup. It is only 1 cup. They do make them in larger sizes. I have another one that is much larger than this, but this seems to suffice for most of the recipes that I do. And then you have the dry measuring cup for like flours and other things that are made out of stainless steel. These have been a great addition to my kitchen. And then moving on to the storage. So food storage is equally as important as what you're cooking it on. So these are just glassware that you store your food in, and you can just pop it in the fridge or take it with you on the go. And these have been really excellent in helping me stay healthy and stay away from BPA. The only problem is it is plastic lids, so you want to make sure that you don't have any hot foods that are rubbing up against it that could be leaching into your food. Then there's also the issue of pollution. So this is eventually going to get thrown in the garbage one day later down the line, and where is it going to go? So this is definitely something that, these purchases you want to make sure that you keep for as long as possible. Stainless steel mixing bowls have been really great. They've been really easy. I also store food in here sometimes. I have about 4 of these and they've worked wonders. I put chicken broth in them, soups, anything you can think of, and there's no toxins that are going to leach into your food. So it's really a great choice. You get a nice airtight seal and you're good to go. And then also something that is worth mentioning is your soaps. So if you're using toxic soap in your kitchen, you are just going to be ingesting that on your food, especially if you don't get all the residue off. So I just use Dr. Bronner's Castile soap and Free and Clear from Greenwise. So these are really excellent options. I have had no problems with them. I can do the dishes with the Free and Clear, and I don't get any skin rashes. I don't get any itchiness on my hands, none of that. The ingredients are somewhat questionable. They don't rank the best, but they are much better than things like Dawn dish soap and some of the other harsher detergents out there. And this might seem kind of silly, but trash bags. So this is a huge source of pollution in your household, especially if you are getting scented trash bags. So scented trash bags release a lot of endocrine disruptors, so that's why it's important to get one that has no scent and just go from there. I still do use sponges in my kitchen, and I know that there's probably a lot of toxins in there, but I have not found another alternative for that works for me at this time. So I like the abrasiveness of it, but I know that when I open the package, it really has a funky smell, and I'm sure that's not great for my health. So if you know of another option for sponges, I tried the unsponge where it's like a reusable sponge, but it ended up smelling bad. So if you have any other options, please let me know in the comments below. This is my convection oven that I've found makes an excellent addition to my kitchen. It has made cooking so much easier, and it's very simple to use. You just press whatever function that you want, and then you can flip through the dials, and you just have different options for whatever you want to do. You click start, and then it turns on and your food will be ready soon. This one did have a very odd smell when I first got it, and I'd say about probably over a dozen times that I used it, it smelled really bad, so I know that it was probably off-gassing some really toxic stuff, so we made sure to leave the windows open and just air out the house really good. This is the pan that came with it. This is definitely something that I need to get rid of because I have no idea what the pan is made of. So this is going to be disposed of in the very near future. This is an electric kettle that I was gifted a while back, and I used it a couple of times, but it always smelled like harsh chemicals. So I stopped using it, and I haven't used it since, so I'm going to donate it. A lot of these have aluminum and plastic parts in here that do leach into the water when you turn it on, so that is something to be mindful of. They sell ones that are non-toxic, and they're a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it if you use these often. Here is my Ninja blender. This is something that I've had for several years. I don't like that it's plastic. I don't put anything hot in here because of the concern with heat releasing more BPA and more toxins. I currently only use this to make butter and other cold things that don't really matter. But if you are going to be using this for hot foods, I would recommend one that is glass. Other than that, I absolutely adore my little Ninja blender. I think it is so cute and I think it's very effective. I've had no issues with it at all. Now just a quick look inside this drawer. Like I said, I still do use plastic occasionally. I'm not perfect, but I try my best not to use this for storing hot foods. And if I do store things in here, it will be wrapped in unbleached parchment paper. So the reason why you want to look for unbleached parchment paper is because when they bleach it, they use chlorine, and when you're heating that up in the oven, it can release dioxins, which are very toxic to you. So making sure that it's unbleached and it's not coated with any toxic waxes. Whole Foods sells their own brand. This one has been really good. I like it, and it's not that expensive either. Now I have freezer bags for certain things that need to be stored in plastic, airtight. So, you do your best when you're doing this kind of stuff. And then aluminum foil. So I really don't use aluminum foil for anything. I actually just bought this so I could cover the router to protect me from EMF, and it's incredibly effective at doing that. Sometimes people will come over here and visit us and they will use aluminum foil to wrap their foods in, and that's not great because it is still releasing toxins into the air that I'm breathing, but it's rare, and I know people are just going to bring aluminum foil here when they come to visit, so I just leave it. Here are all of my other utensils. I have a stainless steel garlic press. I have bamboo bristles to scrub veggies. Just all kinds of little things. Another little cheese grater, rolling pin, all bamboo. And I also have my crock pot, which I absolutely adore. This has been so helpful for planning meals that if I don't want to cook in the evening, I just put some food in here and you're good to go in the evening. So I don't use the plastic liners that they sell because obviously that would leach a ton of toxins into your food over an 8-hour period of time of it cooking. So I do want to mention that, and this is made out of all non-toxic materials. I have a lamb shank cooking in here right now, but it smells delicious, and I highly recommend a crock pot if you do not have one. They sell tons of these at Goodwill and thrift stores. Usually they go for about $20 to $30 depending on the size. This one is an 8-quart, and I've had it for about 2 years now, and I'm very pleased with the quality of it. So now you know what a non-toxic kitchen looks like, and I hope that this video helped inspire you to go ahead and ditch the toxic cookware and to upgrade to a healthier, cleaner option. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to see more videos like this one in the future, click the subscribe button and the notification bell down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the video next week.